Hello everyone, it's Jennifer. Thank you for joining me today. This starts off week number 2 of the Jessie James Beads Summer Blast, or Summer Bead Blast, the design challenge. And I am so excited to be recording what I'm making for week number 2. Week number 2 is asymmetrical design. And I had first had a necklace all designed up using some chain reaction on one side and then some beads on the other like this. And what I did was I went online and there were I saw several necklaces. Well, I shouldn't say several. I saw like 2. And I saw 2 necklaces that were already there. So I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to break mine apart and maybe I can make up a few different pieces and make a bracelet instead of a necklace to give a necklace or a bracelet example. And that's what I started doing here. I am still using the beads from the Rainbow Water Ice Mini Mix. I still have a bunch of beads left over, plus. I think there's like 4 earrings in here to make up. So we're going to make those up at the end as some bonus designs. But what I'm doing here is I am using this 6641 chain reaction number 36. This is from Jessie James Beads. And what I decided to do was I really love these crystal rondelles and I kind of want to use them in a bracelet by themselves. And so I am going to be taking apart this chain reaction, and I've already done that. And how I do that is, since I want to keep, there's little links in between each of the little components here, and I like to keep those. Those are great to attach on. They're great to add dangles to. I just like keeping those intact. And so what I do is I just go in and I snip at the wire wrapping for the rondelles. And like I said, I want the rondelles in their own little bracelet. What might end up being all the rondelles on one side and all of these pieces on the other. So who knows what I'm going to come up with, but I have something in mind for that, and that will be another time. But we are going to get back to the Summer Blast, the Summer Bead Blast. And what I did was I went ahead and used a jump ring, and this side of the toggle, which, yes, this toggle was included in the mini mix. This mini mix is incredible. And so I have this toggle, and what you want to do is, I wasn't going to run into the issue with these smaller beads, but you just want to make sure whatever you have on the side where the toggle piece is going through the other side, you just want to make sure it's going to fit. You're just going to, you're going to want to make sure it fits through there. And this one fits through there just fine. And so I was going to add a third link, and I don't know, but for now we're just going to keep it at 2 because I want to add 2 lengths of these. And I have my jump rings out. I'm going to attach all of it with a little bit larger jump ring. These are, I think, 6 millimeters, and I think these are 5. Then what I do is one eye pin can fit 1 bead, and then the scrap from that eye pin can feed off another bead. So what I just do is I will, since this is going to be the start of this one here, and I'm going to attach it to the jump ring, I'm just going to go ahead and put that on there, or thread that on, and then I'm just going to make some simple loops. Yes, I am making simple loops, and I'm not too savvy with them. I do the best I can. I'm not an expert in them. I'm not an expert in any type of loop for reals here, but this one might be a little bit too small. So we're going to keep that one. And then I'm going to go ahead and come in, make sure I don't have anything sticking out the side. And I am just going to start rolling until I get that nicely closed. And there we have it all nicely closed, and just make sure it's straight. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the scrap and I'm going to make my loop on this side and go like so, and then do that there. Make sure it's all nice and tucked in as it should. We're going to go ahead and open it up. That's why I'm not too worried about it being a little wonky, because I can fix that up after I get that on to the bead, or onto that little component there. And just want to make sure it's all nice and straight, and it is. And I like to add the bead before I do the wire, before I do the loop again, just because it's easier, because it sits, I like it to sit nice and tight on the bead. I don't always get it nice and tight on the bead just because like I said, my simple loops are just a little wonky. But now, instead of having a big, huge piece of scraps, I just have a little tiny piece. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and come in here, make sure nothing's sticking out, and then just start wrapping. And then make sure I get that nice in there, closed. Make sure it's a little bit even, and then I'm done. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to continue doing this all throughout. I'm going to do, I think it's the same amount of beads, and then I had those 2 left over. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up just by adding my eye pin and making sure it's all nice in there, adding a rondelle. I mean, I did try to make it where it was a rondelle and then one of the little pearls, and then a rondelle and then one of the pearls. So I did try to do that, but based on, oops, we need that. Based on the size, I might not be able to do that. So let's just go ahead and get this in there and straighten it out a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to make myself my next one, make sure that that's that end, and get that all nice and tidy. Open it up. And again, I don't worry if it's a little wonky on the side that I'm adding, because I'm going to open it up anyways, and then I can fix all that little wonkiness after I get it all nice and closed up and make sure. All right, let's go ahead and add our little bead. And then let's go ahead and get that bent over. We don't have very much to trim off. But again, we're not really wasting. That's it off of an eye pin. It's pretty good. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep going, and then I will come back when I am getting close to being done. Okay, so we are down to the end. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this larger jump ring, find where the split is. I'm going to thread these on, hopefully in the same, I don't want them all twisted. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and add these 2. Go ahead and get those added on there. I am loving all these colors. These colors are so incredible. All right, so there we go. So we have that. Now we want to go ahead and get that on this side, which it looks like maybe I probably had have a wonky wrap in there somewhere to make it a little bit longer. All right, so let's go ahead and open up this guy, and since we have these laying pretty nicely here. All right, so we are going to go ahead and do that, and we're going to close it up, because I think what I want to do is add another jump ring. Wow, I don't know how I did that. I'm going to add another jump ring just to attach, a smaller jump ring to attach the toggle. See if we can get this all nicely closed up. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and add this smaller jump ring to the toggle. If you want to add some dangles, add some dangles. We have a couple of extra beads here, so if you want to add a couple of dangles. But here we are. We have our little asymmetrical design. Oh, and it fits. I didn't have to add the extra. And there we go. We have our little asymmetrical design using some of those gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous beads from the rainbow water ice, along with the toggle. Is that not the best that you get a toggle in the mix too? So I'm going to get a picture of this, get that taken. But before we leave here. So I have a couple of extra beads. I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of my chain reaction and I did have a little tag that told me what it was, but we'll go ahead and get that put away for later. Put this off to the side, and we're going to bring in we're going to bring in our other projects, and here we go. So I made these just by taking off the bead cap and then just finding where the little end of the, let's see, what is it? Right here, the little loop. They have little loops. So if you want to dangle something from here, you can. I'm not. I'm just going to add some ear wires. For this one here, I got to do my design. My design is lava bead, bead cap, crystal rondelle, bead cap, lava bead. So we're going to make those. We're going to make these here. These are using the crystal cage beads. I love them. We're going to use some of those frosted yellow with the green wood rectangle beads here, and then the little tiny rondelles. Very, very cute. Then our last pair is going to be using these gorgeous chunky bicones with these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful star charms. So we're going to go ahead and make those up. I think so. These ear wires I got on the Jessie James Beads website. I really like them. They're nice, simple, easy. They don't take away from your design, and they are just really, really, really easy to use, and I really like them. They're just cute. But that's how those turned out. And I love that look with the bead cap, the oversized bead cap, and the crystal rondelle. And then with these here, they take on the essential oils really, really well. Only thing is you just have to make sure that it's not going to thread through the other end of your head pin. So I try to find the smallest end and go from there. Then I'm going to go ahead and thread on one of these bead caps. This was in the mini mix. Everything in here was in the mini mix with the exception of the head pin. You can get these head pins. These are the Bead-A-Lon head pins from the Jessie James Beads website. So now we're just going to do a wrap loop, and I'm going to come off the tip of my chain nose pliers a little bit more than I normally would, and here's why. I don't want to damage this bead, and so I want to make sure it's going to spin. It's going to be a spinner, but that's okay. Go ahead and come in, form that over the top barrel, and it looks like this, but I need this tail to be sticking out this way. So I'm just going to rotate my wrist, push it to the back, and then rotate until it's nice and even. I'm going to go ahead and put my chain nose pliers over, and I can already tell it's going to be a little wonky. And go ahead and get this wrapped up all nice and neat, but I don't want it to go up against my bead, because with the lava beads, you don't want to do that. You can damage them. I mean, you can with a lot of beads, not just the lava beads, but I feel like I have a little bit more give with some of the other beads. Okay, and that doesn't look as wonky as I thought, but I'm gonna go ahead and still just go ahead and just twist it just a little bit. And then again, I'm okay that these twist around. I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm gonna go ahead and open up my ear wire. Put that on the, get that on there, and there we go. There is our first pair of earrings. So it looks like we're gonna have 4 pairs of earrings. I'm only gonna make 3 just because I didn't know if these would work. Let me pull these over into the picture here. I put the ear wires on them. I didn't know if these little guys would work. And where I got this idea from was, I don't know if you remember, but I think it was one of the Magical Mystery Bead boxes, or it could have been one of Sarah's secret stashes, where there's like a 3-level tassel. And when I saw that there were 6 of these in the box, I thought, well, I'm going to try and do that. And thought those were just really pretty colors all together with that yellow in between. And so what I did was I took off the bead cap. So I undid the loop, and then, because it's not going to be shown, because these are all underneath. The loops that I took apart, I went ahead and they're underneath. And so I took them apart, took off the bead cap. Then what I did was I shortened it up just a little bit. I took a little bit off so that the loop wasn't so big. And then just very, very, very carefully pulled this all apart and just added that in there. And then I did the same thing with this one. So I do have 4 extra bead caps that are in the mix now. But that's how I did that. And I thought those were really cute. So they're not perfect. They move around, but they're as perfect as I would want them to be. So those are very cute. All right, so those were already done. Then we have these guys. And I really, really love these little cage beads. And so I'm going to try and get it in the same exact spot. We'll see if I can get it in the same spot. But we're going to use the longer. We're going to use the longer of the two just because I have a little bit longer of bead stack. And I came in probably a little bit at halfway, maybe a little bit lower than a halfway. Okay, let's see. Yep, that's about it. Then I'm going to go ahead and open it up. So then I broke it. I broke the neck so that now the wire coming up that we're going to add the beads to is right there in the middle. Looks like a stop sign, not a P. We're going to open this up. And then I want to get this in the same spot, but it needs to be mirroring. It needs to look just like that. So I am thinking it is, let's see here, right there. So we are going to go in right here, just like so. And then we're going to go ahead and close it up, just like so. And it doesn't move around too much, and I'm okay with that. You can make it as large as you want, but I didn't want too much movement. I'm going to pull in one of the frosted beads, one of the little wood beads, and one of the little tiny rondelles. And I'm just going to thread those on like so. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and come in about so and get that 90-degree angle bend. It's about 90-degree-ish. Let's go ahead and form that over the top, rotate, push it to the back. Let's get it in the center. Let's get our chain nose pliers over the loop, not where the wires meet, just over the loop there. Lock that into place, get yourself resituated. I'm gonna go ahead and use my fingers on this one because this is pretty long. I don't have very strong fingers, but when I have long pieces like that, I can do it. And I think we can use that for the next one. So we'll go ahead and I like to hold my, hold it at the loop and then just tuck in that little piece that sticks out, that pokes out. And there we go. We have ourselves a wire wrap loop. And if you want to do a simple loop, you can do a simple loop. I just like the look of the wire wrap loops, just a little, I just like it better. Plus I'm more comfortable doing wire wrap loops than I am the simple loops. So here we go. Here is our second pair of earrings. Easy. Isn't that easy? That's so easy. I think the hardest one were the tassels, and it was only because I did not know how to do it and I didn't know what I was going to be doing. And then we have our last little pair. These are so cute. I love those chunky bicones. All right, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to come in and we're going to make sure that we have a flush cut. This is not a flush cut, you can tell. Okay, so let's go ahead and give it a good flush cut. When in doubt, just cut it, because you want it to be nice and neat. And then how big did I make the loop? Not too big, so about right here. Go ahead and wrap around until the end meets the stick, and then go ahead and break your neck. And if you break it a little bit too much, like I kind of did, but that's okay. You can always just maneuver it around. I'm gonna go with it. All right, so now let's go ahead and get this guy threaded on. Isn't he gorgeous? I love those charms. What I love about this mix, not just because all of the goodies that you get, because you get so much, but also too the metals. You get silver and you get gold. You get it all. Let's go ahead and come in again. Get that flush up against, make sure that where your right angle bend is, just go ahead and get the, or where your 90-degree angle bend is, bring that tip of your round nose pliers snug up against in there. If you don't, you're not going to have a circle. Okay, let's go ahead and get that locked in place. This here is just a little too short for me. I'm gonna go around the 3 times. And again, oops, we have glass, so we want to be very, very careful. And come in with the flush side, give it a little bit of a trim. There we go. I can already tell it's a little wonky. That's all right. We can fix it. Get that tucked in. And it's not as wonky as I thought, but it's good. And we're going to go ahead and get this on the ear wire. And then we'll take, yeah, see, it's a little wonky from the back. It looks more wonky from the back than it does from the front. But let's go ahead and just give it a little bit of a twist. And get that threaded on there, and there we go. We have 4 easy pairs of earrings. Again, I'm sorry for not showing you how I did the tassels, but we have tassels in the Magical Mystery Bead Box for May, so maybe I'll make up a video doing that. All right, so here are the tassels. Here is our bracelet, our asymmetrical design for this week for the JJB Summer Bead Blast. Here's another pair of earrings using the little crystal cage beads. And then we have our lava beads. Get them all twisted around. I'm going to get a picture of these, get them posted for you. Let's see if we can get a little closer. There you go. How do you like that? And again, we still have a lot of beads left over to make more designs. So please give this video a huge thumbs up if you like it. Please also do comment. I love to see what everybody has to say, and subscribe. And until next time, have a good one.